It's Asexual Awareness Week, so I gotta do an asexually video. So I figured I would talk about how my asexuality affects how I consume media. Perfect excuse to wear this thing. Little ace-themed flower crown. Oh, and the background's purple too, look at that. That was not planned. I just have a lot of purple things. So quick lesson, since a lot of people don't know. Asexuality. Lack of sexual attraction. That's it. That's all it is. And now that manifests in different ways for different people. So obviously, my experience is going to be different than other people's experience. For example, I don't go to the movie theaters anymore because I can't fast forward to the kissing scenes. They gross me out too much. I can't watch them. The last movie that I saw in movie theaters was the first Hunger Games. I'm starting a continuity error here. I'm going to put some headphones in. So there's really not much else to say about my movie preferences because I just fast forward through what I don't like. It's books. Books is where it gets a little interesting. Because there's some things that I'm totally okay with. And it's kind of weird because like I could be totally okay with something incredibly graphic in one book and be completely grossed out by something not graphic at all in another book. I kiss him instead. Kiss him until he understands. He shucks off his pants, watching me as though... Meanwhile, while minor characters are banging or there's like a low-level sexual situation going on in the background, my eyes immediately go to the black leather couch in the middle of the dimly lit space, to the human laying on it with her arm draped over the side, and a dark-haired male vampire on top of her, drinking from her... And I couldn't figure out why this was. It was only until recent years that I kind of pieced it together in my brain. It depends on how much I'm relating to the character. Like if I'm like really into the character, like I'm relating to that person and I'm like, ooh, we're going on this journey together, blah, blah, blah. And then when sex comes up in the story, I'm like, ugh. But like in that previous segment, that was just someone else. So I didn't really care. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, okay. And honestly, I do find myself analyzing how I'm reacting to romantic and like sexual things in books more than I should probably. Like, I'll be reading something that's obviously supposed to be like, woo, romantic, hot, I guess. And I'll be laughing. And like, I gotta stop and think to myself, is this like a normal reaction, or is this me having like an ace reaction? For example, the world bursts into color as my lips meet his. He's not hesitant to follow my lead. It goes beyond chaste first kiss, instantaneously searing, the product of two people who have been dancing around this contact for weeks. She has purple lipstick on. It's gonna be everywhere. Oh no! You guys are the worst undercover people ever. And then sometimes, like, a romantic subplot will come out of nowhere, and I have no idea where it came from. Where did it come from? And once again, I'm thinking to myself, is this me being ace? Or is this just, like, a problem with the story? Is this, like, a regular reaction anyone would have? Like, in the book I read recently, Scythe. He wanted to reach for her, maybe touch her cheek. But thinking about that made him think of the saleswoman who was gleaned by a touch. What a perverse poison that was. Rowan wanted to kiss her. There was no denying that anymore. He had suppressed the urge for weeks because... Weeks? Weeks? When did this happen? They hate each other. I thought they hated each other. Oh, now she's kissing him? So I do find myself comparing how I approach all of this to how people write it. Because I assume that, like, obviously it's glammed up a little, but I assume that there are, like, real-world situations that, like, all of this has been based off of. You know, there's some reality here. And, like, sometimes I'll just read something, I'll just be like, what? I wake in Locke's house on a bed covered in tapestries. My mouth tastes of sour plums and is swollen from kissing. Ew, did they bang while she was wearing his dead mother's dress? Really? Is this what straight people like? That can't be. No, that has to be just weird. That's gotta be weird. Oh, okay. They didn't do anything. It's still really weird, though. And sometimes even like a pairing that I'm rooting for, it is my ship that I want to happen. And like something happens, it's like, okay, they're together. I no longer have any interest in this book anymore. That happens a lot. That happens so much. I'm all about that slow burn where they get together at the end and then the story ends. Well, that's kind of how I like it. Stories written by not asexual people sometimes just like are a slap in the face sometimes. I said sometimes like 3 times. But it's true. Like, I just read some things and I'm like, I don't understand this. So what is this? And then other times I think like, yeah, I understand this. I identify with this. And then it slaps you in the face. And damn it, he smells good. Who wears, I sniff, awesome smelling laundry detergent to a work meeting? Okay. That is actually super hot. Look at me, weak-kneed from laundry detergent fumes. I definitely have been dating the wrong people if clean clothes are a turn-on. But... no, but it is! What? I don't know, sometimes because of all this, I feel kind of stuck in YA. Because as soon as it moves up to adults, then it's just no holds barred. We're getting all the details. Very rarely is there like clean romance that's not like mega Christian. And you know, sometimes that's okay. But it's also like, I'm not really Christian, so when it's like mega Christian, it's like kind of like, it's getting a little weird. So I'm just stuck in this little YA bubble. But even YA is kind of not safe. I mean, almost all of those examples from before were from YA. This is also the reason that I don't read straight up romance books. I like romance subplots. It's kind of weird because like I really just want a love story. But then it always goes like a little into that territory I'm not cool with. And honestly, like sometimes I feel like maybe I'm aromantic too. But I don't think so. I have definitely had some romantic-y things going on in my life. But not anything like sexy things. You know, like that whole like platonic friends thing. Like I have had dude friends that I've been close enough to sleep in the same bed with, but like we have never done anything. Like I have never done anything because I never wanted to. Although I'm sure there were assumptions, but those assumptions were wrong. So I guess a part of me kind of worries that if I write these clean romances, are people gonna recognize that they're actually supposed to be a couple? Or is it just so removed from what a traditional couple looks like that like people just think, oh, they're good friends? Or worse, will they think that I totally baited and switched them? Like, oh, they're gonna be a couple, but they just ended up being friends, and I feel cheated now. And I'm always thinking about that when I write. Because all my main characters are all just ace, because that's the frame of mind that I'm writing from. I feel like I can't get my head in that not asexual headspace well enough to write a non-asexual person. I mean, I could try to fake it, but that has never gone well. So it's like I'm simultaneously writing the stories that I want to read, which you should do anyway. But I'm extra feeling like I'm kind of niche. And I'm always trying to figure out like, okay, so what's a nice middle ground where I get the relationship that I want to happen, but also all of the non-asexual, aromantic people aren't all up in arms that nothing has happened. It's just a concern of mine that I'm talking about. I don't know, I think I'll make a video that goes more in depth into this, and I put more thought into this. because I'm kind of just speaking off the cuff here, which I am very bad at. I'm sure you might have noticed, depending on how well I edit this. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this off before I start going off on a weird tangent. Hopefully I don't have to refilm anything because this thing itches. See you next week. He was so close, the scent and feel of him filling my senses, but I wanted to be closer. I wanted all of him, all he could give, and everything I could offer. No more barriers. Tonight, Zeke was mine, and nothing would take that away. You're gonna... Can't you not? Can you not? Are you really gonna have sex together when the other two dudes outside that you have a psychical link with can feel everything and know what's happening? Are you... See, this is why Zeke should have died in the last book instead of becoming vampire Peter Malark. What have you even done?